We go. All right, let's see if we got this going on now. I see we're live on YouTube. We'll make sure that we're not talking through it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's just do this once again, y'all. Welcome to another segment of the HBCU Daily Grind. My name is Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. And yes, this is the podcast where we bring on alum, and we do have an alum there, but just before we get started, I want to let you know that you can find past episodes of the HBCU Daily Grind on our website at HBCU by associations.com. And we're also on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and what else are we on? Facebook. At the same thing, HBCU by association. So looking forward to this show. So if you heard the beat, I do want to give a shout out to Mike Ballard for providing us with that beat. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And we have another person, alum on, and I said I'm gonna stop telling what school that they go to. I want them to give the shout out. So today we have Billie Shabazz. Hey Billie, welcome to the HBCU Daily Grind.
Thank you so much.
All right, now you got to get the shout out. What university? And I didn't set this up like this, y'all. So stop it. So what university and what was your major?
So I attended the Great Morgan State University and graduated in 2016 with my master's in social work.
All right, good deal. I didn't set it up, y'all. Just happened to be that way. All right. But nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and keep going. So, being at an HBCU, I believe there are 4 quadrants. So I'm gonna share the 4 quadrants with you, and you let me know which, or if all of them resonate with you. All right. So they just happen to spell out HBCU. All right. So the first one is H for homecoming, B for Black excellence, C for clubs and organizations, and then U for united place on campus. So which one, or if all of them resonate with you, just give me some feedback on that.
I would say for sure the homecoming piece. So homecoming even more than just like the event and the events that lead up to homecoming, but literally being intentional about going to an HBCU for my graduate studies, having gone to a PWI as an undergraduate student. So it was really important for me to kind of circle back and come back home to an HBCU for graduate school.
Absolutely. So it's nothing like an HBCU homecoming. That's what I keep telling those individuals who went to those other schools. So you have to definitely come back. So let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey. When you were at Morgan State University, were there entrepreneurship programs to really help you get started?
If there were entrepreneurial programs, I didn't know about them or I didn't access the resources.
Okay.
Which I think is sometimes a trend in graduate school because, you're balancing maybe full-time employment, graduate studies, and we're just not as involved often as undergraduate students are. But I'm not sure if there were any resources when I was there.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey. So is this your first business, or did you have other businesses leading up to this business?
So this is my first business, like in a formal sense. Okay. This is my first time like creating a product, registering with the state and all of those things. This is my very first time doing any of that. But I've dibbled and dabbled in different ideas before that just never really came to fruition. So this is my first entrepreneurial venture in real life. Everything else was just an idea.
I love it. All right, so let's do this then. Let's talk about your business now. And while you're talking about it, first give out your website so people can go to your website so they can look at the website while they tuned into us. And I'm gonna share your product right here.
Okay, awesome. So my website is www.thesecondspring.co. Um, and and the Second Spring is a wellness brand for Black women. My goal with the Second Spring is to create wellness materials that aid us in self-reflection and self-exploration, right? We talk about self-love, we talk about healing, and these tools that I'm creating are things that can help us get to that place, things that can help us awaken to new parts of ourselves. So the Second Spring deck, which you just showed, is a deck of 52 cards that have invitations to practice mindfulness, to explore affirmations, and to also reframe childhood lessons. So a lot of the lessons and things we may have grown up hearing in our communities and our families, some of those things need to be released, reframed, or just reimagined in order to fit our lives today. And so there are invitations within the deck to explore all those things.
Hey, yeah, I love this. So when we met, you were sharing this with the people in the audience, and like you said, it's 52 decks. All right, 52 cards in a deck, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's nice, I'm gonna have to say, your packaging is awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, when I saw it, I'm like, what the heck is this fancy thing? I mean, talk about that. How did you come about, the packaging, the cards, and all of this good stuff?
Yeah, so I really think that, when you have a small business, it's important to kind of put your stamp on everything and to just be authentic. I like experiences from start to finish.
Yeah, I do.
So,
yeah.
So what you'll find is there are two different versions for the deck, and the gift wrap version is actually gift wrap, like how you would do on Christmas, and it has dried flowers in it and things like that. And then the standard version has the deck, and it comes wrapped with like a wax seal, and they all come with stickers that are different affirmation stickers. I don't know if you can see these.
Yep, absolutely.
And just like affirming statements and things, different invitations for us. So I wanted it to be an experience from start to finish as much as I could. So that's why the packaging is so intentional.
Yeah, I love it. So why the name Second Spring?
Because I think when we think about blossoming into better, more awakened, more enlightened versions of ourselves, we think we have to be this perfect thing, right? We have to have the perfect conditions. But it's important to me that people recognize and kind of take hold of the idea that you have the power to create whatever it is you want to come to fruition. So if I want to blossom and bloom into this person, then I can choose to create my second spring whenever and how often I need to, right? Spring comes around in March, right? And that's fine. But I get to create my second spring whenever I need to and however I need to.
Wow, I love that. So I like the name. I like the concept that you have here. So how did you get to this point of creating your business? I mean, what resources did you use? I mean, was there a class? Were there friends? How did you get to the Second Spring Incorporated? I know you're not corporate, but business.
Not yet. We're going to be incorporated one. So I think it's a combination of things. So like I mentioned, I graduated from Morgan with my master's in social work. So I went on to become licensed to become a therapist. And in therapy, there were these themes that would come up amongst my clients who were mostly Black women. And many of these cards are in response to those themes I would see in therapy. Right. So using our voice. One of my favorite cards in the deck is growing up, we might hear young ladies are supposed to be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
But for an adult woman who remembers that, not just in her brain and in her memory, but in the fiber of her being, a saying like that has to be reworked and maybe released so that she can begin to use her voice and be more present in her day-to-day life, right? And so that's kind of where the idea came from. The physical thing, I got a lot of help from my friends, from like my tribe, right? So I have some graphic design friends who are able to be helpful. I also reached out to some friends who had their graphic design business.
Yeah.
So Pinch Design Co. helped me a lot with that. She's also an HBCU grad.
Oh, we got to get her on.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So she helped me a lot. I've reached out to people on Instagram. So the art is actually made by a woman who is in California, and her name is Tara James. So if you've ever seen her greeting cards and things like that, I commissioned art from her. So it really was a collective of a lot of Black women who I reached out to for support for their services, things like that.
I like this. I like this. All right. So, one of the things, since you are a therapist, I have to bring this up. One of the things that entrepreneurs, when they're going out and starting a business, they don't put in their plan, taking time off, almost like a mental health day. And then being a solo entrepreneur, as you saw when we had that event here in Baltimore, where it could be a challenge, it could be stressful. You're doing everything. You're doing the designing, you're going to do the marketing, you're making the products, you're selling the product, and then you have to collect your money. And if you have a team, you have to deal with their personalities as well. So your thoughts about including some type of mental health day or mental health plan in your business plan?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's an amazing idea. When I was first started, like going through proofs and everything and figuring out the cards, I was actually in a really good groove of going to my own therapist and going to other wellness practitioners regularly. So seeing at least 2 people for my own wellness a week. So twice a week, I'm taking care of me intentionally, right? So that was really helpful in terms of creating that balance, in terms of checking in with myself, expressing those frustrations with someone who could help me, process them, so that I wasn't just holding on to stuff or, not taking care of myself. So like you said, it's important. And if you can work that into something like a business plan, I think that's amazing.
Absolutely. So when I say mental health, people kind of like, oh, I don't need that. But I heard you say wellness, so you're using the term wellness a lot. So maybe it's that wellness. What's your wellness plan as you think about this entrepreneurial journey? Look at you convincing me and working with me in live, y'all. This is live. All right. So how are you as a solo entrepreneur, that's been in business for how long you been in business?
It'll be a year, August the 1st.
Oh, wow. So been in business a year. So how is it? How is it being an entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur?
I think from the very beginning, I don't know that I've necessarily seen myself as a solo entrepreneur. Yeah. Although I'm the person making the decisions and all these things, I get a lot of support from the people around me. And so I'm really grateful for that. If ever there's an opportunity where I'm vending, my friends joke about it. Like, when's my shift? When you need me to come over and package some things. So, so I'm really grateful in that aspect to have a community of folk who are willing to help. So I don't know that I feel alone.
So how do you get those group of friends to say, hey, Billie, when do you need help? What type of help do you need? How do you get those individuals to surround, like you said, that community? How did you build that community?
I think I just have some really good friends, but also I've had to get good at asking for help. It's easy to feel like you have to do it all on your own, but because it takes vulnerability to ask for help and to say, I could stay up for 8 hours and package all these, decks by myself, but is that the best use of my time? Is that helpful for my well-being? Right? And the answer is no. So how can I reduce this time from 8 hours to maybe 3? The answer is get more people. So putting out feelers, seeing who's available, who's willing to help. And so I would say the biggest thing is embracing the opportunity to ask for help.
And oftentimes, I know you focus on women, but men are famous for this, not asking for help, not asking for directions, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's that simple. If you are in business and you have that tribe, that community that can assist you, just reach out and ask. And I'm preaching to me because, sometimes it's like, man, I can do this. I don't need the help, but hey, yeah, I've helped them, so let's help each other. That's how we
Exactly.
build. So I do believe in that. So I do want to take you back to school now.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to Morgan State University as it relates to entrepreneurship? And what I mean by that is, resources to students, to faculty, to staff, and the community as well.
I think that Morgan is a gem. I think that Morgan students, faculty, staff are all like unicorns. And I think that I say that because I think that we all have ideas, talents, and things within us that for the most part, we don't necessarily always get the opportunities to explore what those things are. So the idea is that you go to school, you get a really good job at whatever place. If you're an engineer, you're going to Legg Mason, da 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 da. So if social worker, going to DSS or whatever. But what if we could imagine a world where we could use our talents, put it on the forefront, the things that we are passionate about, that speak to us in our communities, and really create entrepreneurial opportunities, right? I think that every single department should have efforts that are related to entrepreneurial, ventures. Because if I can do it as a social worker, and there's no reason why someone in policy couldn't do it, or someone in education couldn't create a community school, right? But having that foundation where entrepreneurship isn't scary or isn't foreign can be really helpful. So if those opportunities to learn more about establishing a business are embedded into our programs, it could be really helpful for us changing our city, our environments, and really empowering for not just us, but for generations to come.
Absolutely. Oh, that's good points. Good points. Entrepreneurship really across campus and not just in business school. So some of the people who I've had on here before, they have come from the business school. Of course, they are experiencing entrepreneurship. However, entrepreneurship is across campus, so not just in the business school. So I love that. I love that idea. So how has attending an HBCU helped you out in life and in business?
In life and in business. In life, I think that it was really important for me to do the homecoming piece, right? To come back. I didn't realize how, what's the word? It was traumatic, how traumatic a PWI was and how harmful it was for me to be in spaces that were predominantly white, and also around white people who were harmful and aggressive in many ways. I didn't realize the harm that was done. So it was really important for me to come back, and I'm grateful just to have a space where I could come back to it. And at certain points I was stressed out, but I had really good advisors who were saying to me, stay put, and I remember Dr. Davison in the School of Social Work, she was my advisor. And I remember during one of our conversations, she said explicitly, we need you here. You're here for a reason. You're here to do great things. We need you here. And so just hearing that and receiving it from her, an elder, a woman who is doing her thing in social work, made me feel good. It made me feel seen, and made me feel like I could do more, like I could go the distance. And I think that speaks volumes. Yeah.
I love that. That's that Black excellence, in full effect, really, reaching out to its students. All right. So I want to go back to your business, and getting your business now. So this is your first project, the cards.
Yes.
So are you doing anything else with the cards, or is it not just the cards? Are you doing other things other than the cards? Put it that way.
Yeah. So what I'm working on now is a journal that will accompany the cards. And so in the journal, there'll be invitations, like journal prompts and there'll be affirmations within the journal itself. And then one of the things I really want to produce is a coloring book, because coloring can be really helpful in activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is really important for relaxation and getting grounded. Yeah, and so if we're able to color images that look like us, images that are reflected in the city, you know what I mean, that bring out peace and tranquility, then I'm all for it. So the coloring book and the journal are the things that are on my next to-dos.
All right, so you said the coloring book is for adults?
Yes, adult coloring book. Yep.
Oh, okay. And it helps with what?
So we don't realize, so this might be a little brainy, but at any given moment, we have to keep in mind that we are taking in so much information.
Yeah, we are.
Right? Through our five senses, right? We have, I'm looking at you, but I see the person in the background, right? We have the lights, we have the sounds, we have however our clothes might feel in our bodies, we have whatever we're smelling. So our bodies and our brains are literally taking in so much information.
Yeah.
We need to be able to relax at certain points, right? We're not very good at relaxing often.
I know you talking to me now, but go ahead. All right, so this a coloring book will help me relax.
Yeah, the coloring book can help you relax. The journaling can also be something that can help to provide relaxation. But whatever it is, whether it's even just focusing on your breath in the moment, right? Noticing your inhale and your exhale.
Yeah,
it's really important to do that.
Yes, yes. I took a class about that, the breathing in and breathing out, throughout the day, so that you can relax. And you're right, we do take a lot of information in. And, even leading up to this, I had so many different meetings, which were good. They were good meetings, but it's so much information that I didn't have time to rest or break in between. It's like I'm jumping from one thing to another thing. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing that. But your recommendation is breathe, right?
You got to breathe. I'm a firm believer, and my grandmother, in her example of her life, she was someone who would go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you do not stop, your body will sit you down. Like, it's a very real thing. Yeah. You cannot go 100% full throttle all day, every day. It's not sustainable. Yeah. And you don't deserve it, right? You deserve rest.
Wow. You said it's what? It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Yeah.
All right. So the entrepreneurs that are listening,
I hope so.
Yeah, I hear people say I'm grinding, even though this is called the HBCU Daily Grind, but you can't grind 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 a year. You have to kind of breathe and have that wellness plan in place. Oh man, I love it. I love it. All right. So is there anything else that you want to share with us? I mean, anything that I did not ask, anything you want to add, any advice you want to give to these budding and existing entrepreneurs out here?
So because so much of our conversation has been about kind of finding that balance between the grind and relaxation and taking care of yourself, I feel like that is what I would offer, right? Just a reminder or an invitation for you to take care of you, right? Your brand, your business is one thing. And also you are a full, complete human being who needs time to rest, to digest things, and to process, right? You deserve that time. And it's for your own betterment, right? Imagine if you're working 20 hours, a day, and then you meet someone who wants to talk to you about your business, but you're snappy because you're exhausted, right? That's not what you want to put forth, when you're representing your business, but it's because you have needs that you're not meeting. So just, I think what you shared was really important in terms of putting that wellness into your business plan, because it's such an important thing. It's such an important thing. More than your business being here, we need you here. And that's not for what you can produce, but for you, who you are.
Yeah. Oh man, Man, we definitely got to bring you back because it's all about that wellness. And,
Yeah.
you know, I've seen too many guys and ladies who, they either retire and then once they finish retiring, I mean, they pass away, or some individuals that grinding so hard, and just hearing the advice that you gave, it's like, I'm taking it in it, because I know me, I'm jumping from one project to the next, so now it's breathe. Take a moment before you go to the next, and stop scheduling. So this is me. We're talking to Omar right now. Stop scheduling so many meetings back to back. You need time to breathe.
Yeah.
Got that, Omar? Got it. Thank you, Billie. All right, give out your contact information and how can people find these wonderful cards that you have, and then the coloring book. When is the coloring book and journal coming out?
So I don't have a date yet. But I am working on it. I share a lot on my Instagram page. So I'll be sharing a lot about that process this week. But so my Instagram page is BLK Women in Bloom. So that's Black Women in Bloom. Again, it's the @ BLK Women in Bloom. And my website again is www.thesecondspring.co. And you can follow me there. I sometimes blog from my website as well. So if you visit my website, feel free to enter your information you'll get journal prompts, but then also you'll receive any updates and blog posts as well.
All right. So before we leave, I do want to ask about journaling. So the importance of journaling, you see, I have this pen here and I'm using it on my iPad. I mean, I like to write. Versus, the typing piece. So the importance of journaling, what's the importance of that?
So journaling is a really good way to process your thoughts and your feelings, right? To be able to, I always enjoy journaling because it's an opportunity to be honest and to be vulnerable. And the journal can't tell your business, right? It won't talk about you behind your back, right?
Right.
So always the opportunity to do that. Like I said, I am one who likes experiences. So I tend to journal with pen and paper, like old-fashioned way. If I can get my hands on colored markers or even scented markers, that's even best for me. But there are times, like if I'm in transit or someplace, I'll use my notes app on my phone just to get something out. So journaling is always helpful for processing your thoughts and your feelings. And it can also be quite meditative too. So
I love that. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm working on this year, meditation too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to bring you back and maybe we could do some meditation exercises.
I'm here for it. Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Well, get your website out. Once again, I'm going to play some music as we are going out. I played the music last time and it almost took us out, but go ahead.
All right, so my website is www.thesecondspring.co.
All right, good deal. And your Instagram handle, once again, while I find this music here.
Sure, Instagram is BLK Women in Bloom.
All right, good people. Thank you for tuning in. Billie, thank you for coming on board. Oh man, this was a great interview. I really appreciate you. Don't forget, you can find us on HBCUbyassociation.com. Shoot me an email, info@HBCUbyassociation.com. Until next week, we'll be back next week. Continue to improve and progress. Peace.